In relationships, narcissism may be a sneaky force that makes victims feel helpless and entrapped. Knowing what narcissism is and how it shows up in a relationship is crucial for spotting the warning signals of an unhealthy connection. In this blog post, we'll look at how narcissism affects relationships and how to tell if you or your significant other may be narcissistic. Vanity, beliefs in their own significance, dominance, and success. Narcissists have an irrational sense of superiority over other people in the world, thinking they are better than everyone else in every way. They frequently have lofty hopes of themselves, yet these aspirations rarely come true. Narcissists are fierce rivals who always try to outdo those close to them in an effort to be regarded as the greatest. Their relationships consequently frequently turn toxic and manipulative. Due to their perceived superiority, they believe they are entitled to special treatment, and if their demands are not granted, they may take advantage of people around them. Due to their personal insecurities and low self-esteem, narcissists may also be prone to feelings of jealousy or envy toward others. An excessive entitlement mentality. A defining characteristic of narcissists is their sense of entitlement and superiority over others, which frequently takes the form of the conviction that they deserve praise or respect without having to work hard to earn it. The expectation of preferential treatment or taking advantage of others can result from this sense of entitlement, which can also lead to reckless or even unethical behavior. If their demands for attention are not met, narcissists may exhibit excessive emotional lability and may behave violently or deceptively against those close to them. Exploiting the flaws of others. Narcissists are infamous for taking advantage of and controlling other people to achieve their goals. They may take advantage of people's feelings to gain favors, manipulate them emotionally through the use of gaslighting or guilt-tripping, or use their position of authority over someone to exert undue influence on them, in order to further their own self-serving interests. Narcissists frequently lack empathy for others around them, see them as nothing more than objects to be exploited for their own advantage. As a result, it is crucial for people who engage with narcissists to be aware of their motivations and avoid being taken advantage of. Extremely sensitive to feedback or opposition. Narcissists frequently exalt themselves and assert that they are better than everyone else. This can cause people to behave as though they are above reproach, untouchable, and deserving of preferential treatment regardless of their actual abilities or successes. However, the narcissist's grandiose persona conceals a profound insecurity. They are aware, deep down, that they are not as extraordinary as they portray themselves to be. Because of this, narcissists are intolerant of disagreement or criticism. They worry that it will expose their alleged shortcomings and disprove their own self-perception. Having trouble controlling your emotions. Narcissists frequently have emotional instability underlying their outward displays of strength, confidence, and control. Even small disappointments might result in strong emotions like rage, grief, or despair. These responses may be out of proportion to the perceived slight or disappointment felt by the narcissist, causing them to lash out at others close to them in an effort to feel better about themselves. In the end, a narcissist's desire for adoration and acceptance is so enormous that any apparent lack of these can make them experience extreme misery and uncertainty. Refusal to take ownership of or responsibility for errors. Admitting guilt or accepting responsibility for errors is essentially impossible for narcissists. Instead, in order to preserve their fragile sense of self-worth and keep their illusion of omnipotence alive, they frequently place the blame elsewhere regardless of any proof or validity. This behavior may cause individuals to choose arguments with those who are closest to them, make it impossible for them to admit when they are mistaken, and therefore keep the cycle of blame and antagonism going. A yearning to always fulfill one's desires despite all obstacles. A narcissist becomes obstinate when faced with resistance, refusing to make concessions and insisting on getting their way no matter what the cost. This can lead to a predicament where neither party is ready to compromise. As a result of the narcissist's insistence on getting their way regardless of the repercussions, this causes unneeded conflict and resentment for them. Even when provided with a chance for compromise, the narcissist is unable to perceive it because they are unable to see anything from a perspective other than their own. This is due to their failure to acknowledge error or accept blame. Sustaining long-term connections is difficult. Narcissists rarely have lasting relationships because they are unable to recognize and empathize with their partner's needs. Due to their inability to accept any viewpoint that differs from their own, this might cause them to act in a manipulative and controlling manner. Additionally, they could take advantage of or exploit those close to them, which can lead to a poisonous environment that makes it impossible for any relationship to last. Additionally, because narcissists believe they are the only source of perfection, they can become envious when someone else receives attention. They also frequently find it difficult to connect with intimate partners, which results in a lack of commitment that eventually causes relationships to end. Compromise is seen as a sign of weakness by narcissists because they frequently have an overinflated feeling of entitlement. They find it difficult to comprehend their partner's needs and desires and are unwilling to alter their own plans or expectations in order to satisfy them. This inability to come to an amicable agreement can result in a partnership that solely values the viewpoint of one party. Narcissists frequently demand that others give in to their demands without considering how doing so could make them feel or how it might impact the relationship as a whole. Narcissists frequently use deceptive tactics to acquire what they want. To exert control over and influence the emotions and feelings of their partner, they could employ cult-like practices, gaslighting, and intimidation. Since they are always being watched by someone who expects them to act and think a specific way, those in the relationship find it challenging to express themselves honestly. It is crucial for people in interactions with narcissists to be aware of this propensity and be ready to speak up for themselves when necessary because narcissists are very persuasive. When their partners seem to be paying attention to other people or events instead of them, narcissists find it difficult to share their partner's attention and may become envious. When jealous, narcissists can act in a variety of ways, from becoming excessively possessive and controlling to lash out with criticism and blame. Additionally, narcissists may abuse or take advantage of those around them, creating an imbalance of power in the relationship. Narcissism's primary trait, a lack of empathy, is frequently seen in romantic relationships. Narcissists demand perfection from their partners but cannot reciprocate it, minimizing the successes of their partner. Narcissists frequently downplay their partner's successes in an effort to boost their own ego. They find it challenging to embrace the possibility that someone else is superior to them in some way. In an effort to keep control of the relationship, they might also make an effort to minimize their successes or discount their contributions. Narcissists frequently criticize their spouse harshly and lack empathy, which can make it challenging for people involved to feel respected or valued. These abusive behaviors will undoubtedly lower your self-esteem and make it challenging to keep up a positive, fulfilling relationship. You know how challenging it may be to leave a narcissist if you've ever been in a relationship with one. The narcissist lavishes their spouse with affection, attention, and praise throughout this stage in an effort to win their trust. The partner has the impression that they have at last discovered their soulmate and are at the top of the world. Unfortunately, this happy period doesn't persist indefinitely. The narcissist starts to devalue their spouse as soon as they get their trust. They'll start picking at them and criticizing them to make them feel unworthy. The narcissist may also begin to withdraw their support or act aloof in order to make their victim feel uneasy. Making their spouse feel tiny, undeserving, and reliant on the narcissist for affection and approval is the aim of this phase. The narcissist eventually grows weary of their victim and discards them without any provocation or reason during the discard stage. The narcissist frequently leaves their former spouse feeling betrayed, perplexed, and unworthy before rapidly moving on to someone else. It's critical to realize that you are not to blame for the narcissist's abusive actions, regardless of what they might say or how they might try to dupe you into thinking something else. Narcissists can be very psychologically and emotionally taxing. If the challenge is too much for you, it might be best to give up. Narcissists frequently attempt to exploit your emotions, mind, and even body. Early on, it's critical to establish limits and make it obvious what behavior is and isn't appropriate. Once you've established your boundaries, abide by them at all costs. Giving in will simply encourage a narcissist's inappropriate behavior, regardless of how persuasive they are. Narcissists frequently attempt to step beyond boundaries in an effort to dominate others or further their own agendas. They will continue to take advantage of you if you let them do this. Establish firm boundaries and don't let yourself get exploited. Saying no more frequently than usual may result from this. To preserve control over your life and your happiness, nevertheless, it is vital. Separate your partner's interests and activities from your own. However, it's crucial to keep your own interests and pastimes outside of the relationship while putting an emphasis on your sense of identity and self. This is crucial since it might be challenging to sustain a healthy connection with a narcissist because of their lack of empathy. They will make commitments they don't intend to keep and say whatever is necessary to achieve what they desire. You will be misled by them, leading you to doubt your own reality. Narcissists are masters at making you doubt your abilities and question every choice you make. Being ready for this is the best course of action. If your partner tries to undermine your confidence, don't let them control you, remain solid in your convictions. Their sense of control and dominance over others is essential to their pleasure. Therefore, pay attention to taking care of yourself and pursuing your own happiness rather than that of others. Don't be reluctant to seek professional assistance from a therapist or counselor who can offer support and guidance if you discover that you're having trouble coping. Dating a narcissist might be difficult, but if you know what to expect and how to handle their deceptive behavior, you can have a healthy, happy relationship with them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.